Hey everybody, welcome to Home Recording Made Easy and Plugin Review Sunday, where every Sunday I show you a brand new plugin, we walk through its feature set, and I show you how to apply it to a mix so you can make better mixes in your home studio. Okay, before we get started, if you like what you see in this video, please consider subscribing and make sure you hit the notification bell, and also stick around to the end of the video because I have a free gift worth about $210 to help you make better mixes in your home studio, so stick around. Hey everybody, welcome to Home Recording Made Easy, and in this week's Plugin Review Sunday, we're going to take a look at another one of the Overloud GEM series plugins. This is the EQ550. This is modeled after the American style API EQ. It looks very similar to that. It's probably modeled after the API 550 EQ. This is a great little EQ and has a couple of features on this. It's not on the licensed version of the API EQs like Waves and some of the other plugin companies. So we're going to take a listen to this on a drum bus. We're going to take a listen to this on acoustic guitar bus as well. So Overloud, I've done a bunch of reviews for them already on the YouTube channel and the playlist, plugin reviews. You'll see a bunch of the Overloud plugins. I have all their plugins for the most part. And I have not found a bad plugin yet. Every one that I do and I listen to before I do these reviews, they always sound great. And I really do recommend that you check them out. No, they're not a sponsored, this is not a sponsored video. I just really do enjoy their plugins. And if you're a member of mixingmadeeasy.net, and if you're not, you should click the link in the description box below and check out mixingmadeeasy.net. There is an entire month's content where I mix only with the Overloud plugins that particular month, so we can hear using only their plugins what kind of a mix you can get, and I can tell you they're really, really good. So check out mixingmadeeasy.net. Also check out the Overloud link in the description box and go out and check out their stuff. You could demo their plugins. So here's the EQ550. Let's walk through this layout. Pretty simple EQ. On the left-hand side here, we have a low-pass filter that when it's lit up, it turns the low-pass frequency selector into a low-cut filter, okay, which is which I believe is set at 50 hertz, if I'm not mistaken. Underneath that, we have our input knob here. And the more we drive the input, the more we will get our harmonics light to flash. And this harmonics light is really just modeling the circuitry of the analog hardware. It gives you a little bit more color, a little bit different tonal characteristic. Next to that, we have our low frequency here. And again, this is a sweepable from 50 hertz all the way up to 400 hertz. You turn off each band by this little on button here, this little LED. Now, what is unique to this plugin, which I really like, is the Q feature. And what the Q feature does, and we'll demonstrate this, it's kind of like a solo. So in other words, if you want to, if you're putting this on, let's say, a drum bus, which we're going to do, we would turn on the Q, and then as we sweep through this, we're only hearing the frequencies that are selected. And again, I'll demonstrate this in a minute. And that's what makes this unique. It lets you really dial in the frequencies that you're listening for if you want to boost or cut. And then you have a plus or minus 12 dB underneath that. Okay, so the low frequency, we have our mid frequency, low mids, if you will. Again, we have the same kind of setup here, but this goes from 400 hertz to 5K. Then we have a second mid-band frequency that does the same thing, 400 to 5K, so it gives you a little bit more control over your mid-range. Two different mid-band frequency selectors, again with our gain knobs underneath. Then we have our high frequencies from 5K to 15K, again plus or minus 15 dB. And just like on the low filter side, we have a high filter side. This turns this into a high shelf, okay, where the other one turns it into a low shelf. We have our output here. Okay, and then we also have this filter selector switch. If you flip this over to the right hand side, as you can see, the little, this rolls off, I believe, from 50 hertz to 15K. Everything below 50 hertz is gone. Everything above 15K is gone. That's what this little filter switch will do. Bunch of presets that you can check out. One thing I like about the Overloud plugins are that their presets are very, very usable. And it's a great starting point if you want to check those out. And then lastly, we also have something that's another unique feature to their particular plugins is the scribble strip that you can add. And the scribble strip is great if you want to just label the track. You can put it up here. And if this is on a drum bus, you can double click that and you can say, you know, drum bus if you want to know what that is. You can also use this that if you're sharing, let's say, sessions back and forth with another producer, another engineer, and you have your plugins on here, you send the session and you don't want them to touch something specific, you can leave little notes on the plugin itself. You can easily make this say do not touch and put it right over that particular low frequency selector so they don't touch it. It's pretty handy. Not useful for everyone, but it is a cool little feature to have if you'd like to use it. And to get rid of the scribble strip, you just right click and hit delete, and there we go. So let's listen to this on a drum bus here. Now this song is completely unmixed, no plugins at all. I like to use these on absolutely raw tracks. It's a quick little static mix just so you could hear exactly what this particular plugin is doing, and it's not being clouded by all the other processing that you would have on a full mix. So that's why I like to do that. So here's a drum bus, some drums. Okay, so let's see what we could do with this plugin. So the first thing I'm going to do, let's get a little bit of bottom end here. So let's start around 50 Hertz. We'll turn this on. And again, we can use the Q section. And as I sweep through this, to help me find the fundamental frequency, let's say of the kick drum, say right there maybe. Boost it up a couple of dB, then you turn the Q off. Now let's go to our mid-range here. And again, let's try to get rid of that boxy sound. That's going to be somewhere around the 400 Hertz. So we'll boost it up. We'll sweep around. Take out that mid. Take off the Q. And maybe on the very top end, we want a little bit of 12K maybe. Turn it on. Okay. Now we can also, we don't see the harmonics lighting up here. If we push the input and turn down the output, that's going to give us a little bit of a harmonic distortion. So let's do that. Let's pump this. Let's turn this down a little bit, maybe 6 dB. There we go. That's before. After. Before. With. What I love about the EQ plugin emulations in general, API is really famous for when you really boost the top end, how API is really smooth. This reminds me of a lot of the emulation by Slate Digital, the FGA, I think they call it, their API. And just API EQs are great. When you want to boost top end and you want to get a really nice thick low end, it just sounds very, very musical. It's got a very distinct sound of its own, and that's why I like it. And so this is a real simple EQ to use. So there it is on drums. Now we can also put it on something like, let's say, acoustic guitars, just for why not? We have a couple acoustic guitars here on an acoustic guitar bus. Let's just kind of see what that sounds like. We'll bring up the same EQ. Okay, and this time let's use our low filter. Let's get rid of some of the lows. Turn it on. Somewhere in that ballpark. Now we can also use our little filter switch to get rid of all the very lows and instead of using the low cut filter here, we can also just do this. Although this filter will only be from 50 Hertz to 15K. So that's what that's going to do here. So let's go back to the beginning. Okay, that's before. After. And we can also, again, push the input a little bit to get a little bit of our harmonics in there. We'll turn down the output to level match the plugin. Obviously you would be doing this in the context of a mix because EQing something in solo means nothing if it doesn't sit in the mix right right? But I want to show you how the plugin kind of sounds. But if I bring our drums in and just bring our bass guitar in with no processing and kind of play it along with that. As before, let's go back here. So just by making that little mid-range cut at 400 makes a big difference to opening up the clarity, gets rid of that honk in the center. Sounds really great. And again, very, very musical API stuff. So this is a great EQ. And so I really like this one. This one is, they did a really good job emulating it. And I love the fact that you have the Q section. That makes this plugin unique to a typical API plugin emulation. And the harmonics is unique to this plugin as well. So simple to use, very smooth, very, very musical, just like all the Overloud plugins. They really do a nice job. Again, they're not one of the main players of plugin companies. You don't really hear, you hear Waves and Universal Audio and Slate Digital and Plugin Alliance and some of these, but you don't hear a Fab Filter, but you don't hear much about Overloud. One of my students from mixingmadeeasy.net actually turned me on to them, and I'm glad that he did because I really do enjoy their plugins. So this is a look at the EQ550 by Overloud, the GEM series. Again, I hope you enjoyed this look at this particular plugin. Again, go ahead and demo it below. All the links will be in the description box, so you should check this out for yourself. Now, I want to thank you very, very much for staying till the end of the video. As always, I want to give you a couple of free gifts. The first thing I want to give you is I want to give you 5 free mixing training courses over at homerecordingmadeeasy.com. That's right, 5 free training courses worth about $200. Go out to homerecordingmadeeasy.com today, get a hold of those 5 free courses, and I think you'll really, really enjoy them. And then while you're on the website, if you look in the link, if you look at the description box below this video, I'm going to give you a coupon code. The coupon code is YouTube25. YouTube25 will take 25% off any one of my training courses on my website. Just use it at checkout. Instantly takes 25% off courses that are already super affordable and full of quality training. I have training on recording, on mixing, a lot of mixing courses, on mastering, all different facets of home recording, mixing and mastering. I have over at Home Recording Made Easy. YouTube 25 will take 25% off. And last, but certainly not least, what do you think of this particular EQ? Do you like it? Do you like the Overloud series? Go ahead and check out all the other plugin demos that I did of them on the website. Let me know if you have a favorite API EQ emulation that you like better than this. Or if you use the Overloud plugins, what do you think of them? Do you like them as well as I do? Leave comments below. Let me know what you think about this particular plugin. I'd love to hear from you. And until next Sunday's Plugin Review Sunday, I've been Dave with Home Recording Made Easy and homerecordingmadeeasy.com and mixingmadeeasy.net. Again, all the links will be in the description box below. Leave comments, and I will see you next weekend. Take care.